And we're live.
Hey, hello everybody. Hello internet.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to welcome to another episode of Morning Ritual, our morning show. I didn't choose for it to be the morning.
No, you didn't.
I'm one of your hosts, Noir. I go by he, they. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Nigga. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Hive, Pornhub, wherever. OnlyFans, I'm there probably. And this is our other host.
That's me. Hi, I'm Anita. Pronouns she, they. I am the channel runner Critical Misses, and you can find me everywhere at Benita. And we got an amazing guest for you today.
Yes, we do.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Natalie?
Hi everyone, I'm Natalie Pudim. I design and publish games as Luck at the Harbor. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a queer trans game designer out of Baltimore, Maryland.
Hell yeah. So first off the bat, we got to tell folks about Orangard because this is listen. One of my favorite movies growing up was Dragonheart.
Okay,
you hit
okay.
me you hit me right in the Connery with this system. So you might give the people a description of what this game is.
Yeah, Warren Guard is a game that's about dragon riders, but the secret of magic about it is that it's really a game about found family. You play as a group of dragon riders who keep a watch over a small pocket of humanity that is under your protection. You get paired with a dragon who is psychically bonded with you for life. Uh, you Every chapter, which there's pre-written chapters, so like session planning is a breeze for it. Every chapter will set up like a slice of life moment, and then the bell will ring, and you'll have to go, protect, fight against flying jellyfish and giant centipedes and things like that on the back of your dragon. It uses a unique blend of belonging outside belonging mechanics for your rider and fate for your dragon, and those two systems
Mm.
interplay with each other. Um, so yeah, that's Warren Guard.
I again, just dragon riding in general is my one of my favorite genres. Like, I can never not cry watching How to Train Your Dragon. So this,
Uh-huh.
I want my own personal, like, oh my God, I want my own personal Toothless, and this sounds
Yeah.
like the
Do you have a
best way.
D12 on you? You can roll and see what dragon you get.
Do I have a D12 on me? I do, in fact, have a D12 on me. Okay, I'm scared though because I don't know what I'm gonna get. All right, here's my D12. All
Uh-huh.
right, and I rolled a 12.
Oh, you've got a black dragon.
Yeah, you got that right. I do.
Black dragons breathe a venomous breath of death and decay. They wither the things that they breathe on. They've got like these badass antlers and like a face like an alligator, and they've got venomous bites.
Black
Uh,
Dragon nearly
my
took me out last night.
yeah,
my dragon sucks.
yeah.
You
I'm
got
just gonna be looking up Black Dragon stuff all day today. I want you to
Yeah.
know that.
I will
Oh,
send you. We have some sketches of the Black Dragon we've gotten from the artist. I'm gonna send those to you too. We can see if we can get them on stream too. I was gonna
oh,
show some other sketches, but I'll show off that sketch too for you guys.
hell yeah! Also, shout out
exclusive.
to Anita for painting this die. It's
Yeah.
not gonna focus. There it is. Anita
You got to do the
painted the
makeup.
12. I don't make up stream anymore. The first time I tried it was a disaster. Don't ever look up that stream, please. Anyway. Oh, God, I just remember what I looked like at the end of it, and it was not good. Um, help me. I can't think now. I'm stuck in that nightmare dream that I did.
Oh, you're good. But yeah. So you've this Warren Guard is the second game that you've published as Luck of the Harbor as well.
Yes. Yeah. My first game was a game called Sapphic Space Pirates, which Sapphic Space Pirates is a straight up belonging outside belonging game about queer women running a spaceship. It's really a game about queer community and like the way queer friendships are different than the way straight people make friends. Uh, and like those bonds and yeah, it's also a good game.
I first off, I just have to say you've got a gift for naming games.
So Warren Guard actually came from one of my play testers. The game was called
Really?
Dragon Riders Forever, and I was talking with Meg Baker, designer, one of the designers of Apocalypse World, famous designer, uh, who gave me the advice. She's like, if you name your game Dragon Riders, no one will ever find it on the internet. Like, and I was
Wow,
like,
that's actually really good advice.
yeah, and I was like, oh shit. So like I brought it to my playtest group and was like, what do I name this game? What do I name this game? With all the people who'd played it. And Amanda was like, I feel like the game's really about the Warren, the place where they live. What if you called it Warren Guard? And I was like, yes, absolutely. That's it. And yeah, so Amanda is credited in the book as being the person who came up with the title.
That's awesome. And like honestly, it's not a given that like it should be a given that people get credit for like even
Uh-huh.
their small contributions, and some people don't do that. So that's just a really cool thing that like thank you for being a cool designer. Like I really appreciate when folks
Yeah.
do that. Uh
Yeah, yeah. The credits of this book are just full of people that I am amazed are in my book. Like it is so cool.
I mean this particular system, like I've reported on this, and like you've got really amazing stretch goals, you've got amazing accessories that are being in wonderful partnerships with this new system. Can I ask you, like, where did you pick up the business acumen to figure out how to get all this stuff together? Because that's a lot.
I am making it up as I go. Thank you so much. That means so much. The dice thing came from we actually Dice Dungeons is local here to Baltimore, and I've run into them at a bunch of cons and like local shops and pop-up events. And when I knew this game was going to use Fate dice, I was like, well, fuck, no one has Fate dice. And I was like, how can so I approached Dice Dungeons like thinking there's no way they're going to say yes. And they were just immediately on board. Brian's upset in chat. Brian is also a Fate designer who wrote Dragon Train, the chapter we played yesterday. Uh,
Thank you for
um,
almost killing me, Brian.
but the but yeah, so I was immediately like, yeah, what if I could get uh um dice made? And they immediately like knocked it out of the park. Like they were also like really cool, and they're like, we want to help let you, so like if we can sell your dice after your thing is fulfilled, like continue selling the dice through our site, we'll pay for the mold and all that, so I didn't have to pay upfront
Wow.
for the mold. um they've just been amazing to work with. So if anyone out there is trying to work with a game and wants to do custom dice, I'd recommend reaching out to Dice Dungeons. They have been amazing partners.
That's that's incredible. Like I have to tell you, like one of the things that we do weekly over on Table Takes is that we everybody picks their crowdfunder of
Uh-huh.
the week. And I have picked a lot of crowdfunders that kind of like it
Yeah.
kind of didn't go well. I have to tell you, the Kickstarter for Warren Guard is far more professional than some that I've seen with big publishers backing behind them. So
Yeah.
your team has done a fantastic job, and it truly does generate
Uh-huh.
excitement because like just reading it again, it speaks to a genre that I love. And
Yeah.
I have to ask you, like, what were some of your inspirations behind this? Like, there's
So
a
I
ton. Yeah, go for it.
I grew up reading the Dragon Riders of Pern books. Those were my thing back in the day. They do not, if you go back and read them now, there's some really messed up sexual politics in that book. I do not stand by like saying like, yes, this is a book you should definitely endorse. Um, But Warren Guard actually started as a bottom-up design. I spent about after Sapphic Space Pirates came out, my next project was trying to write a game that was actually a homage to another book series I loved as a kid, Animorphs.
Yeah.
And I was trying to write an Animorphs game, and I was playing with a lot of different systems. And I wanted to have like two different systems, like one for when you were an animal and one for when you were a human that interacted with each other. And I came to Brian, who's in chat, wrote a game called Ace Adventure and the Flying Royal Flush that isn't currently available, but we're working to make that happen.
Oh yeah.
But Ace Adventure is a face accelerated game. And I've written Belonging Outside Belonging. Sapphic Space Pirates is Belonging Outside Belonging. And I just realized those two systems, they lay on top of each other in a way. They both have mechanics where you spend tokens for an advantage and take tokens for a disadvantage. And I realized you could do that. And then I was playtesting it. I do a lot of playtesting just myself. Like I'll sit there and like I'll roll dice on my own and be like, run these little solo adventures in my head. And I was like, this doesn't feel like you're an animal. This feels like you're riding something. And then I immediately was like, Dragon Riders of Pern. Actually, my first thought was a mech game, and then it was like, there's way too many fucking mech games. I love mech genre. There's too many games.
I mean, just personal opinion, there hasn't been one that hits the sweet spot yet.
And I don't think that this system would have been right for it. When I want a mech game, I want something crunchy. I want to be like, oh, I'm attaching this gun and it does like this like I want to do like complicated physics for a mech game. And this is not that much math. And so I was like, yeah, it's like writing something organic and Dragon Riders.
But okay.
I was just gonna say, and speaking of solo games, you've actually got one of your stretch goals fulfilled.
Yes.
A solo game by our friend Super Dylan.
Yeah.
Hey, Dylan!
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan is going to write a solo game. So as part of the world of Warren Guard, kids are picked at the age of 13 to bond with a hatching dragon because you're just more able to bond with a dragon at that adolescent age. And then you spend 5 years in like aerial combat training before you get sent out to your final duty as a dragon rider at a Warren Guard. And Dylan is going to write a solo game that takes place at the Caldera. So you could in theory like play out your time in training for your character and like play out that backstory before you hop into a full campaign.
Oh, that's good. That's sick. I like that. So I another question that I wanted to ask, seeing this is, again, this system is just coming out and there's like a lot of word of mouth. There's a lot of good impressions, that I've heard about it. And eventually that's gonna get the interest to somebody. And essentially my question could you ever imagine licensing out one of your games? Like, for example, if the folks behind How to Train Your Dragon saw this and they're like, ooh, we like gimme. Like, like what would be your answer to something like that? And what license would you actually consider if you wouldn't consider that one?
Um, I have thought about that. Like I've thought
Mhm.
about, what if someone reaches out, and it depends on who reaches out. Like another piece of dragon writing media that's really popular right now that I read as research was the Fourth Wing books, which are smutty
Oh,
and
those are
trashy.
so horny.
Yeah, but also the writer is a shitty Zionist with bad political opinions.
I didn't
So
know that.
yeah.
No. Fuck.
And it kind of stands out if you read the book. Like if you read the politics of the book, you're like, oh, okay.
I wasn't
No.
paying attention to the politics.
Yeah, you were too into the hot bad boy dragon rider, which you can be a hot bad boy dragon rider in Warren Guard. That's one of the classes.
That's the ace.
As soon as I
well,
wrote
no,
the
the bad
12,
boy is the outsider.
Oh, the outsider. Yeah, that's true. I think the ace
Yeah.
could also be the bad boy, though.
The ace is more the like golden boy, like the
Yeah.
like you are, yeah. But Yeah, so I would not license it to Rebecca Yaros, but yeah, I think if someone reached out, and also this game is a mashup of Fate and Belonging Outside Belonging, which are both open source systems. So I
Mm.
am keeping the engine of this open source. So if anyone wants to write something in the Warren Guard
Wow.
engine, like that is something that is available to you. I would love to see people build on what I designed here. Um,
Call it
you
Warren
know.
Forged.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Warren Forged is good. I haven't come up with a
That
name.
sounds good.
Yeah. Oh,
What a
I hadn't come
fuss.
up with what they were gonna be yet, but you did it.
Got it in one, baby.
Yeah.
So, can I ask, like, what? What was the moment when you were play testing this, where you were like, oh, this is something, like, oh, got it. This is gonna be a hit.
Uh, it was Big Bad Con. Big Bad Con was the first time that the game was kind of fully assembled, and I ran it as Dragon Riders at Big Bad Con. And I was running it in 2 hour sessions, which was not enough time, but it just sang. Every session we ran, like people were like, I want to keep playing. Um, and it just it just clicked. And the thing that immediately made me realize, like, oh, this is something that I captured a lot of the game, like a lot of my playtesting was like knowing what not, like being afraid to touch things because some things were working well that I didn't intend to work so well. Like one thing I love about Warren Guard, and I've seen this every time people play it, gotten to see people play the game without me, which is one of the coolest things you get to see as a game designer. And people start role playing during character creation. And I I don't know what I did to make that magic happen, but I love that I did it. And I was so afraid that like if I adjusted things or if I moved too far away with that, um, uh, it would it would it would I would lose that magic somehow. So yeah, it was Big Bad Con last year where the game finally like clicked and started singing. And
That's so cool. Like,
yeah,
I can only imagine what it's like the first time you watch a group play without you.
yes,
That's got to be one of the scariest moments in my life is like going down a half pipe the first
uh-huh.
time on gates. Like, that's what I imagine that moment must be like. Where it's just like, this is it. There's literally nothing you can do at that point. You just have to watch.
Hmm.
I'm so glad that it worked out though. Like this.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, and I also want to throw out there for any game designers, I do a lot of my like deep play testing at Games on Demand. Games on Demand is at Big Bad Con, they're at Gen Con, they're at all the pack. I think they're coming to PAX West this year, but they're at PAX East, PAX Unplugged.
They're at Gamma.
Yep, you get free badges for running games for them if you run
oh,
over 12 hours usually, depending on the con. I think it depends like what con, like whether you get badges. Um,
oh,
but Games on Demand is a great opportunity to get your game in front of eyes that aren't your friends, to get like totally feedback from people you've never met before who are just there and excited to play a game. So if you're like playtesting something, look for your local con, get with Games on Demand. In fact, I'm going to give you the link to the Games on Demand Discord if you can share it in chat.
hell
I
yeah.
actually
Uh,
you're able to share links in chat, so
okay,
you're all good.
great. I will share that link if anyone is looking to playtest a game or run games at a con. I can't say enough good things about Games on Demand.
So I have to ask, are you going to be at Gen Con by any
I'm not going to
chance?
be at Gen Con. Gen Con scares me. It's so big. Uh, maybe next year I'll get up the courage for Gen Con, but I will be at PAX East this next weekend. I'll be at Big Bad Con this year, I'm planning to be, and I'll be at PAX Unplugged. Assuming PAX stops partnering with Kidia Gaming, we'll see if that happens.
Wait, PAX partners with who now?
So, this is a soapbox I've been on. My friend Brian has been
Petty
on.
prime time early in this episode.
So Rascal actually covered it and quoted me talking about how fucked up this is. So PAX, for all their like, this is a queer friendly space and all that.
Hmm.
Uh, their big sponsor this year, having one of the biggest booths on the floor, is Kidia Gaming, which is owned by the Saudi royal family.
Oh, I heard about this. What the
Yes,
fuck?
yeah, it is their like esports initiative, the Saudis, and they have a huge floor
Oh.
presence,
They've got
and
a
everyone's like,
massive booth,
yeah.
like the
So I
size
was
of
part of, yeah, go ahead.
like a Dungeons and Dragons booth would be.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was part of the statement Games on Demand put out. And I'll put the name in chat. Uh, uh, it, yeah. Um, so it's
Wow.
just so against like the PAX ethos, uh, and like what they purport. Like it, I always knew it was rainbow capitalism, but to just make it so obvious, like, hey, we're engaging in rainbow capitalism, and if people give us enough money, like that's more important to help, like,
I mean, isn't PAX also run by ReedPop?
yes,
Yeah.
ReedPop has a bad track record when it
they
comes
do,
to this sort of thing, though.
they do, yeah. So yeah, so I'll be at it unplugged if PAX,
I'm
I think
sorry
it's
I'm
too late for
laughing.
them to
Like
change it,
the
but
Saudi like the Saudis is like in terms of LGBTQIA plus, like
yeah,
it's literally the
yeah,
worst.
yeah.
that
Yeah, and
that
it's
means
not
like
just like a company from Saudi Arabia. Like it was a company from Saudi Arabia, and that's one thing. But it's literally the Saudi royal family. Like,
that'd be like me throwing a black family cookout and we have a booth for the clan. Like that's
yeah,
really it's really not fucking.
yeah,
They don't give a shit. God, I hate money.
yeah.
Anyway, what I was gonna offer because I have to go to Gen Con for work.
Uh-huh.
Is we also do our favorites of the show sessions at the end of every day. I will gladly bring up Warren Guard because again I've heard nothing but good things and I've
Oh,
watched the AP and it's fantastic. So,
thank you
you
so
don't have to
much.
be at Gen Con to have a presence there. We got you.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Maybe I will do. Well, I let me think about it.
I
Yeah,
got something to send you if you're interested.
I yes, please do it. I'm now thinking about it. I'm currently this is outside the well, I'll just share. I'm currently like up for a new job that would come with
mhm.
tons of leave and a better paycheck as my day job. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so if that happens, like maybe I'll get my badge from Games on Demand at Gen Con and make that happen this year. We'll see. I hear
uh,
hotels are hard to come by, so
Yeah, you have to fight to the death, but it's fine.
yeah,
Either way, I just wanted to provide a little comfort, especially because Anita does the shows too.
yeah.
Beauregard will have a presence at
Excellent.
J-Cup because
That's so great to
we
hear.
need more dragon riding.
Yes.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is I went to Google like dragon riding TTRPGs when I was like, first like being like, okay, I think I'm writing a dragon riding game. And all you see on Reddit like is there a dragon riding TTRPG? Does anyone have a dragon riding TT? It's just a bunch of forum posts of people asking for this. So clearly I tapped into something.
Abs- you've activated a rant, and I'm just gonna ask for like 2 minutes, and then we'll get back to the show.
I'll
I
set
just
timer.
need to. Okay, thank you. I yesterday or the day before, I posted a question. What are some things that D&D normalized that you would like to get rid of? And one of the things that D&D has normalized is outlawing fun. There's a class in D&D that's supposed to be the dragon rider. It's the fucking ranger that has a baby
Uh-huh.
dragon. They grow up and eventually at level 16 you can fly your dragon. And it's just like this is what I hate. This is what I hate. Like you we know why we picked this subclass. I got a dragon, I want to ride it, and you're making me wait till level 16. You fuck fucking fucks. I fucking hate D&D so much.
Yeah,
So, all that to say, thank you for making a game where I can fly my dragon off
yeah,
rip.
yeah. I
That was
also
only a minute. Good job.
I've been improving. A lot of meditation.
Also really quickly, I want to do a quick shout out. We broke the $16,000 mark on the backer kit
Hey,
while we've been streaming. I've got
that's
it
what's
up
up.
to see how we do, and yeah,
Oh,
9 days to
specifically
go.
a Cyberpunk War Guard campaign.
yeah. There's people who want to do a cyberpunk game. I've also
Fucking
AJ,
Cyber
who's one of our
Dragons.
streamers, wants to do a Power Rangers game where your Power Ranger is the color, your Ranger color is the color of your dragon. Like, I can't wait to see what people do with Warren Guard. I'm actually looking at when the book comes out, like doing a game jam, like a dragon jam, and everyone can like come up with their stuff, and I'll like share the best stuff.
The last night we were talking about, because last night had some very heavy Western themes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We were talking about doing a Western version of
Yeah.
Dragon Riders.
Oh,
Yeah.
with dragons instead of horses. That fucks
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
hard.
There was a lot of Western references last night. It was real
Uh-huh.
good.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
imagining.
we had a showdown in a ghost town at high noon, like on
A
dragons.
Ghost Warren.
Yeah.
Make a Doom campaign where you ride a sandworm instead of a dragon. I'm kidding. No, don't do that. Oh, that's awesome. I would the cowboy one that fucks.
Yeehaw.
Okay, we've got some standard questions that we got to get into.
Okay.
Uh, this is this is gonna hurt, but here we go. There is a secret war happening in the TTRPG space between those of us who see these as storytelling devices, and others who see them as the forbidden candy.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, the ones of us who see this as a storytelling device, we forged a group called Dice Defenders because dice are your friends, and you shouldn't put your friends in your mouth.
Uh-huh.
I need to rethink that tagline.
Sometimes you do,
but
though.
but shut up. There are others who just want to taste the forbidden candy. They want to crunch.
Uh-huh.
And then there are the cowards who choose to not pick a side.
Harm
They call
reduction.
themselves crotch responsibly. So I need to know, what side of this war are you on, Natalie? Are you a dice defender? Or are you a crotch crew, or are you a crotch responsibly?
Be crunch
So
responsible.
so here's the thing, is I don't play a lot of D20 games. So all those pretty dice sets that look so delicious and edible, they don't make them for me. Like, I play a lot of D6 games, and I
Hmm.
play a lot of fate games, and I play a lot of token based games, and there is just a lack of delicious crunchy things in those
Yeah.
games. Like, I have this gorgeous D6 set from Die Hard Dice in front of me that's like, but they're not particularly edible looking. uh i'm I'm dice hungry, and I'm looking for someone to dice feed me. Is what
No!
I want.
What is this? This is this is affection. This is an abomination. No, Dice Hungry cannot be affection.
Add it to the list, Roshadi.
I love you guys.
So I need someone to feed me some delicious dice. Dispel Dice, Die Hard, like Dice Dungeons. Come out with more D6 sets that look delicious, and I will be a dice eater. I just can't be right now because
You undo that hashtag right now, Rashadi. This is not a thing. Oh no, it's gotten worse. I didn't think it could get worse. Oh, that leads us to the next question.
uh-huh.
And I'm sorry for your choice. You now get the punishment question. And here it is. You get to play with any 5 people that are alive right now. You
Uh-huh.
don't count towards the 5, and you get to choose who's the GM and what system they're playing. What's that table look like?
Okay. Uh, it's gonna be Willow Nightingale from AEW for sure.
Yes.
Uh, we I think that would be fun. We're gonna go with Chapel Roan, the singer. She's very like a queer musician. I think she would be a blast. And if we're throwing in musicians, we're gonna go with Phoebe Bridgers. I think she'd be a ton of fun.
Oh,
Uh,
Willow Nightingale. That's a good choice.
yeah, Willow Nightingale I think would be a ton of fun. Um, uh,
AJ went to school with her.
oh
Really?
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. I've got 3 already. Um, you know,
My punishment
Jeff
question is
Stormer.
not stress. It's
All
not
I can
stressing
think
you
is
out.
Jeff Stormer's answer to this question, because Jeff Stormer's answer to this question is Jason Kelsey, the center for the Eagles, and he does seem like a good time. Like I'd take Jason Kelsey. And then
Yeah. Did you see the videos of him getting drunk at the Super Bowl
yeah,
supporting his brother and
yeah,
like hugging the shit out of Taylor Swift? It's like Taylor Swift security is like hanging on the edge, just like whoa, whoa, but it's also Jason Kelsey. He could kill
uh-huh,
them on accident.
yeah. And then we're gonna go back to wrestling. We're gonna get
Yeah.
Anthony Bowens at the table from the Acclaimed.
Ooh, this is a this is a good table.
Yeah, yeah, it's like half queer musicians, half wrestlers, and Jason Kelsey. Uh,
All wrestlers Warren Guard group when we need
yeah.
Warren Mania.
Oh, and who's the GM? You know what, Brian, you're the GM. I want to watch you run it, Brian.
I'm trying. I wish I knew more wrestlers because, like, having a Warren Guard mania would be
Yeah,
fucking sick. But I
yeah.
only know one.
So one of the our stretch goals, D'Angelo Murillo is writing some lore, and D'Angelo is writing a like a part of the world that is based on 1800s Mexico, like very like Zorro, and Luchador Dragon Riders is going to be part of that. I gave a little taste of that last night with our
Yeah,
Red
you did.
Dragon Rider being a luchador. But yeah, it's gonna be uh,
I'm just
it's
thinking of
gonna be
them
very
doing
fun.
top rope moves off of dragons, and it's the
Yeah,
coolest
yeah,
goddamn thing I can ever imagine. Oh, that fucks.
The Warren Wrestling League.
yeah.
Sphinx says, "Please give the dragon the ass as
Oh
well."
yeah, when I play tested the game with D'Angelo, the rider had a mask, and then their dragon had a matching mask.
No one will ever know who we are. Like they just fly behind a building, take their mask off, and walk normally like
Uh,
nobody would.
Where did they go?
The dragon's mask has to be like this big, so they're
yeah,
carrying a fucking stuff. Oh god, that's fucking hilarious.
yeah.
Uh, but that brings us to our next question.
Uh-huh,
You are the god emperor of the TTRPG space, and
uh-huh.
any 3 things you want to have happen, you snap your fingers and it occurs. It can be anything as big as all of a sudden, Watsy gives all their money to another indie company or an
Uh-huh.
indie developer, or something as magical as like racists forget how to use the internet. Like it could be anything you want. What 3 changes do you make to the space?
I want WotC to give all their money to what I want there to be is a grant to help people, because that's the thing is I'm really lucky to have I work in tech as my day job. I'm
Mhm.
really lucky that running a backer kit campaign or a Kickstarter campaign or any crowdfunding, there's a lot of money up front because if you don't have art, if you don't have that stuff, like people don't want to back your game. So I would want there to be a grant system, that WotC pays for to just give everyone like a grant to start their game. Um, and second, I want Cyrun to get the attention Powered by the Apocalypse has. Cyrun is another system by the Bakers. Meg Baker was the one who ran that. And
Byron? I've not heard of
Cyrun.
this.
Yeah, Cyrun is a game. It uses this really cool dice pool mechanic. So in Cyrun, you play as people with psychic powers, basically like X-Men. You've got some sort of like superpower, and you've got no memory, and you just know people are after you. Like you were in like the back of that car transporting you, and it crashed. You wake up at a crash site. You have no memory. You know you have superpowers, and you know you're on the run. And Cyrun does it uses this dice pool system where when you roll like 6 or 7 dice at a time, and you get to choose like, okay, I'm gonna do really well at the thing I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do really bad at my memory. So then people get to fill in your memory with a detriment to your character. It is such a cool system, like, and there are not many actual plays for it. There are not many people who've built off the system.
The cover
Um,
art for this is gorgeous.
yeah, yeah,
This
Cyrun,
came out in 2007.
yeah.
Huh. Okay. I might have to give
Wait,
this a spin.
let me. I will put the
It's on itch.
yes. I'm gonna share the itch link in chat. But yeah, I would love Cyrun to get the attention Apocalypse World came out with. Yeah, the revised edition did come out in 2012.
Mm,
But it is such a cool system. I've thought about ways I can use it, but it needs such specific input because you have to be trying to do multiple things at once. So like trying to recover your memory has to be like you need to have like something you're trying to accomplish while you're trying to accomplish everything. And like so one of your dice goes to like, are the people catching up to us? So you can do really good at the thing you do, but put a bad die in, they're catching up to us, and then like you do what you're trying to do, but then they show up outside the door. Uh, it's very cool. What's my
I'm,
last thing?
I'm gonna have to
Uh,
pick this up.
yeah. Uh, yeah. My last thing is, I think, and I've been. It's a real big instinct in the TTRPG space of to see everyone else coming out with tabletop games as your competitors. It's a hard thing not to do when you're being successful, but you see someone else being more successful. It's hard not to have that
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck you. So let's just get rid of capitalism if I can do anything. Uh, so
Yes.
we'll just lose that, and then everyone can make the things they want to make, and no one will feel that like, oh, someone's doing better than me, and like all of us TTRPG people viewing each other as competition instead of being the rising tide that is, you know, bringing indie games to people.
Hell yes. I have seen capitalism turn people that could be really fucking cool into just giant dickheads.
Yep.
So,
Huh.
yep. So, no, those are some really amazing wishes. Uh, Slightly bummed that my punishment cluster didn't put the heat on you. So we're
Uh-huh.
gonna we're
Oh, I
gonna
got
have to
another one?
turn it up. We're gonna have to turn it up.
Okay, let's do it. I'm in.
So this is just to buy me time to think. But what is on your TTRPG bucket list? Now, a TTRPG bucket list can include relationships that you would like to play. Like, I don't know if you want to do like, a divorce couple or a
Uh-huh.
parent and child or something like that. Or if you want to have like a particular situation, like on my bucket list is I want to jump off of a dragon and figure out how to land without dying at
Uh-huh.
some point. Um,
You can do that
Funny
with
enough,
Warren.
that was shut the hell up. No, I'm just kidding. But like it can include anything that you want to have happen at the table that you just haven't had the chance to experience yet. So what is on your TTRPG bucket list?
I want to do a live actual play at a convention. That is something I want to
Mm.
do. It seems like such a blast to do it for a live audience. Because I love playing in actual plays. Like I take improv classes. I'm a Leo. I fucking
Leo
love an
gang.
audience. Yeah, we played Leo season together.
Yep.
Uh, I fucking love an audience, and to have that feedback live in the room just looks like so much fun. I just want the chance to do that. So if anyone's looking for players for a live actual play at any upcoming conventions, let me know.
Hell yeah.
I'll run Warren Guard on stage. Like you just let me know. We'll make it happen.
Brian, I wish I could go to PAX East, but my application got rejected. I'm not cool enough.
Hey, come run games with Games on Demand. You can we'll get you a badge. I think there's still some badges, right left, Brian? You just gotta
uh
find a hotel room and a flight in, a week.
yeah, that should be easy work.
Light work.
um let's uh, the next question, because I forgot we're not doing a break today. This is going to be a slightly shorter episode, so I
Uh-huh.
get to ask you all the fun questions.
Okay, let's go.
So here's the next one. This is something we like to do here called Petty Prime Time, which is it's a safe space for you to subtweet someone or something in real life. Of course, we always model the behavior that we expect. So Anita's gonna go ahead and do her Petty Prime Time first. Go ahead, Anita.
Sorry, there's a really loud leaf blower outside the window. My petty prime time is if you're the, I don't know, the CEO of a large corporation, and that corporation and maybe the subsidiaries, are known for getting rid of people right before Christmas. Maybe shut the fuck up when you say that our property is rife for AI training models.
Damn, you took my Petty Prime Time. I should have went first.
I know. Snooze, you lose, baby. But you can tag onto it if you want.
No, I think you nailed it pretty hard. Yeah, if
Do you hate money? Because that's how you lose a client base.
if you might be sorcerers who live near water.
Sorcerers who live by a large body of water.
I will. The only thing that I can attach to that is a lot of powerful people are forgetting how they got powerful in the first place. If you're a politician who got a major following from a certain app and then vote to get that app banned, you forgot where the fuck you came from. If you're a company that has existed because of the creativity of creatives that you're now seeking to replace with robots, you forgot where the fuck you came from. So my petty prime time is to people who forgot where the fuck they came from. Don't forget what got you where you are and try and close the door behind you, because that's a dick move. So that is my petty prime time.
How you get them is how you lose them.
All right. Mine. Mine is a lot smaller in scale. It's more me just whining about something I've had to deal with in marketing this game, which is I to be able to make a Reddit post on r/RPG, you have to not just be on the thing for promotion, you have to be an active community member. So I
Ugh.
spent about 3 months being active on Reddit before Warren Guard launched, which was the worst TTRPG discussions I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, nothing good
Uh,
happens in Reddit.
no, no. And Unfortunately, I should have made a link to see if Reddit brought in any actual money to see if it was worth it at all. I didn't make a referral link. I should have, but yeah, I got to spend time on Reddit where I got such interesting comments as like, has anyone made a Dragon Riders of Pern game? When I posted on the thread about like I made my game, or I'm out at Fate, which was very frustrating. Uh,
That
uh,
sounds like Reddit though. Like
Yeah.
even if you didn't tell me where those comments came from,
yeah,
I would probably be like, "Oh, that's Reddit."
yeah, yeah. We've also been Brian and I have been trying to spread this news about the Kidia gaming, and there have been a lot of people being like, "I want to get all the Kidia gaming T-shirts" on Reddit,
Yeah.
being like
Okay.
openly
Get
embracing Saudi because it owns the libs or whatever, um, which is just Reddit. Reddit's who I want to complain about. Uh,
Noir got told on Reddit that the players at his table looked like they were having too much fun. They were too happy, and you should stop that.
yeah, absolutely.
you brought up something that I want to speak to like really quickly, which is like people be like, "I'm gonna buy all the shirts. We're gonna own the libs." Did y'all say that shit with Harry Potter Legacy? Did y'all say that shit with Harry Potter? How's Harry Potter Legacy doing? Y'all was talking all that. You were talking cash money shit about how you about to buy 4 copies of Harry Potter Legacy because you hate trans folks. Hey, that game is nobody gives a fuck about it.
Mm-mm.
Nobody. You didn't give a fuck about it. We certainly didn't give a fuck about it. In fact, we went to play Baldur's Gate. Y'all complained about Baldur's Gate, and now you motherfuckers are playing Baldur's Gate. Get out of here. Y'all shit sucks.
It
I'm
died the
sorry. I just
quietest death.
I needed to get that out because I got into a knuckle, just a hands bare fist fight with motherfuckers about Harry Potter, and they're like, "Oh my, 4 or 5 copies of it." Apparently, no, the fuck you did with your broke cake for like.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to get that out.
Sometimes you just need to get the hate off your chest. That's what
Oh,
Penny
they was
Farm Time's
talking
for.
so much shit. Gonna be game of the year, not even nominated. Motherfuckers. Anyway, that brings us to our next segment. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be this unhinged this episode. I'm so
No,
sorry.
I'm so glad you're unhinged.
These motherfuckers, I can afford a Kadabra. It's gonna be game of the year. Shut up. Spider-Man 2 beat you, and it's basically a movie. Um, I had to kill my darlings to insult you. Anyway, our next segment is the TTRPG confessional. This is where if you
Uh-huh.
feel you bring a tendency to the table that you could improve upon, this is where you confess. We give you your penance. You say a few Hellebreas, and then you are off on your way to sin no more. Of course, we modeled the behavior that we expect to see. So Anita will begin
No, Noir goes
with their
first.
confession. So Anita, if you can go
No,
ahead and
no,
give us your confession,
you go
that would be
first.
great. That would be great.
You son of a bitch, you got me twice. And you knew that I was muted too because of the leaf blower. You knew I had to struggle to find the button.
So what is your confession, Anita?
Sometimes I don't feel like I stick the landing. I think that I was running a two shot and I think I had too many moving parts. And I needed to
Mm.
trim it down. It was a little bulky. But I also needed to fill 4 hours, so it was a tightrope walk, and I have a hard time with that.
My penance for you is when you feel like you have to add another beat, stop, take a breather, and check in with your characters and see what they think they should do or what they want to do. Because it's a lot easier to forgive a GM for having a beat that we insisted on than if they're just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us. That is my penance.
Okay.
Natalie, do you have a penance for Anita?
I think you need to cut yourself some slack. It's fucking hard. Like every time I land the plane, I am amazed I did it. Like, and sometimes it doesn't happen, but I think people don't remember that as much as you think they do.
I
That's
felt
also
like
true.
I felt like I cheated them out of a bad guy out of the BBEG death.
Uh-huh.
That was my biggest sin is I asked them to give the BBEG the cursed dagger, and they gave the BBEG the cursed dagger by stabbing it into his heart.
I mean,
And I mean, I
mission
I
failed successfully.
yeah, but then the BBEG thanked them, sprouted bloody wings, and vanished. So I feel like I
Mm,
cheated them out of their ending.
yeah,
I don't know. I think you okay, here's a penance. You owe them a third shot to
Third
go
shot.
finish that guy off.
Alright.
um I know mine if I should go next.
Yep, what is your sin?
Uh this month of releasing a game, I have incredibly overbooked myself. I've been doing 2 actual plays. I've been on this
Ooh.
TTRPG talk show circuit. I've been trying to maintain a relationship and a day job at the same time, and I'm in the middle of moving.
Holy
And
shit.
and I have missed 2 TTRPG sessions, one of which I was supposed to run and signed up to run and had to back out at the last minute. So I am that player who is not. I usually pride myself on being someone who never misses their games and like takes like game time as a serious thing. And I have not upkept that commitment this month, and I feel bad about it.
Mm. This should probably be the last TTRPG talk show you go on. Just no, just kidding. All right, my penance.
Mhm.
My penance. Schedule your schedule some you time as if it were another part of marketing for Warren Guard.
Uh-huh.
So like, oh, you got to go on a show called Chill the Fuck Out. Chill the fuck out. It's a 4 hour long actual play. You got to find a way to get that in there.
Okay.
I
Honestly,
was
that's a trick that I had to do for myself. Like, I tricked myself for the longest time because I had a block, and I'm like, I don't remember what the fuck this was. And then when it was like 15 minutes, and go into the event to see the link that I need to go to. It was just sit down, dummy. Like I wrote it in. I was like, oh, okay.
good looking out me.
For real. And also like, I don't know what you partake in, but like chill.
I was gonna say that you should take a chapter out of your own book and do the spa day.
Yeah, I've been the caretaker for the Warren Guard, as in this game, trying to caretake it, getting it out,
Uh,
and
You've been
yeah,
using that
I've
weak move. What's the weak move for the caretaker? It's like run yourself,
exhaust yourself
exhaust
caring
yourself,
for
caring for
others.
others. Yeah, you've been doing that too
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
You've built up too
um,
many tokens. It's time to spend
yes,
some on some strong
yes.
moves.
Space Valkyrie. I love the concept of actually scheduling the rest time. Uh, Another trick to do with that is to always name it something different. Throw yourself off.
Uh-huh.
Make it sound like it is a thing that you actually have to do,
Yeah, like a meeting,
just to fuck with yourself.
Yeah,
brand meeting.
I I managed to triple book myself once in the circuit where I had a session I was supposed to be running of Monster Hearts for some friends. I had a session 0 for an actual play one shot and a talk show I was supposed to be on the same night at the same time, and managed to move the session 0 to end right as the talk show was starting, and then get someone else to run the Monster Hearts one shot for me. Uh,
That game is so horny.
oh, I play a lot of Monster Hearts. I always have my copy right here on my desk.
I I've only played it twice. The
Uh-huh,
first time I played it, I was like, "Oh, this is probably like Urban Shadows. I can't wait for this. It's just gonna
uh-huh.
be good old time where I get to be a werewolf, and it's just like, hey, here's your horny mood."
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. I love Monster Hearts. I could write an essay on how Monster Hearts is a genius example of like designing for a genre, and the way each like skin like uses its has its own economy. I actually
Yeah.
wrote a Monster Hearts 2 skin based on the works of Taylor Swift, called The Snake. uh, it was a thing I designed in the downtime between uh, um, uh,
How have you not put that out yet?
it's out. It's on Itch. If you go to my
Okay.
Itch page, if you go to luckoftheharbor.com and with a link to my Itch page, it's pay what you want for that. And I think it's pretty well designed. Uh, yeah, and yeah, Brian is right. We have a whole Monster Hearts fan server where we have a like shared world where people from different campaigns can interact on a fake social networking site. And we do crossover campaigns. So if you want to play some Monster Hearts, we'll make that happen.
In my,
that
I was gonna say, in my
no.
Urban Shadows 2 game, we had a person, one of my players, ported over their Monster Hearts
Mhm.
character to Urban Shadows 2. They were the vamp.
Oh, that's cool. That
I
that re-
did.
that
Oh,
is
go ahead.
cool. No, I
I
was just saying
did.
that really is cool.
I did 2 seasons of an actual play series back in the day on Carry and Comfort, where season 1 was Monster Hearts and season 2 was Monster of the Week, and it took place
Ooh.
on like everyone coming back to the town like 10 years later after they graduated high school, and
Oh,
like
that's
coming
cool.
back and like dealing with like the monsters they left behind and all that stuff. It was a very cool duo of campaigns.
I like that. We've got another segment here for you. I want to make
Uh-huh.
sure that we get the good ones in while we got you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the TTRPG commandments.
Uh-huh.
I've forgotten it on a few episodes already, so I want to make sure we get yours in. So
Hmm.
basically, we have asked guests from this season to give us a commandment, and we have a lot of them.
Hmm.
um, I'll read off a couple. So Sarah, the Hype Goblin, says everyone at the table should be just as invested in other people's story as their own. Amelia Tyler, the narrator for BG3, says thou shalt create fun experiences with players less experienced than you without the GM asking. Emily Friedman, oh, sorry, Dr. Emily Friedman says, thou shalt play many different games with many different people, and thou shalt not treat people as things. Alec the Bard says, prioritize telling a good story as a group instead of as individuals, and thou shalt give your baddies daddy energy. Our latest comes from Click Clack Snacks and Haley Whipjack. Click Clack says, thou shalt abide by the rule of cool. Thou shalt not look at monster stats at the table. And Haley Whipjack says, thou shalt believe oneself to be equal of importance to everyone at the table. So, with just those few examples,
Hmm.
what what would you like to add to the TTRPG commandments?
We're just talking about Monster Hearts, and it's in my head as something I take into every game. And it's one of the commandments of Monster Hearts, and I'm just going to make a general TTRPG commandment is thou shalt play feral. Monster Hearts has this whole concept of playing feral where you don't plan ahead and you make the interesting choice over the safe choice. Um,
Ooh.
and it makes the most interesting games. There's so many games where people are like, "Oh, but that might hurt my character. Or that might not be, I know this person is the BBEG, so I'm not going to go up to their room alone." And it's way more interesting to go up to the room alone. Like that, just
Yeah.
like seeing the trap and walking into it. So yeah, thou shalt play feral.
Dude, the that
I
idea.
love that. That you might have just made my new favorite commandment. This is awesome.
I have
Uh
to give all the credit to Avery Alder. That is one of her principles for Monster Hearts 2. And yeah.
yeah, so many people play to win or play
Uh-huh.
to play it safe. It was supposed to be like badass adventures or badass
Uh-huh.
monsters. And it's just
Yeah.
like you would not go up the stairs because you know the killer's there, but if you were a badass vampire,
Right.
I love that. That's a really cool way to get to the headspace.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that brings us. Ooh, we've got so many to pick
I
from.
I was gonna ask, would you say is your GM signature move?
Good, good call.
Oh. I think my GM signature move is to forget that I'm uh GMing, which is I will very often like be so invested in my players just role playing that they'll be like talking and talking and talking, and then eventually I'll be like, "Oh, I'm supposed to make something happen." Uh, if you've watched the Warren Guard actual play we're doing, there's definitely been times where I've done that.
It's the
Uh,
ADHGM.
yeah,
I've done it.
and I just get so many opportunities to play with such amazing players that like I just want to watch them go. And something that's more of a compliment to me is I feel like I'm very good at moving the camera as a GM.
Yes.
Like letting my players split off into separate scenes and knowing when to cut the scene and be like, okay, what's happening over here? And then how can that make what's happening over there more dramatic? And then like knowing when to shift and cut, I feel like is my one of my biggest strengths as a GM.
All right.
Uh,
So
Val's in chat and they agree that
Yeah,
you're very good at making sure everyone gets a moment.
yeah.
and that I can't tell you how important that is because like I have been on the business end of clearly not being the GM's favorite character.
Uh-huh.
It's upsetting.
So it's just like in the credits of a TV show, there's just
Uh-huh.
like you've got your starring cast, and then it's just like, and also, like I've
Yeah,
been the and also a lot.
yeah.
You've
So
you,
no,
you've been the
that
Anne Peggy of Angelica Eliza.
anyway, that's gonna bring us to the big one because I think we're running low on time here.
Hmm.
So here it comes.
Okay.
If you've been in the TTRPG space for long enough, you've probably had the misfortune of playing with a that guy. A that guy is a veritable black hole of fun at the table. Somebody that, if they were yeeted into the sun, your experience would improve tenfold. So, Natalie, I have to ask you: have you played with a that guy?
Of course I've played with that guy. Um, First I want to give a not that guy story if I can, because it
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
was something I was thinking about is before I wrote Warren Guard, I was on the con circuit promoting Sapphic Space Pirates. And one thing about being on the con circuit is you don't always get to choose your players. And I had so many times where I would run a game of Sapphic Space Pirates for a full table of straight men.
Yep.
Uh, and almost every time they were delightful. Like they would like it was clear they learned things about the queer community. Like one of the things is like there's the muscle there, and like one of the traits you can select is body hair. And just seeing them be like, oh, like I could be a woman with body hair. Like just seeing their brains expand that little bit was like honestly like really fulfilling. Uh but that guy, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna throw shade on specific people, but I have run games for another game designer who has taken every opportunity to tell me how great their game is and like not
Mm.
you know, uh it's there as a designer, like it's very useful having negative feedback, like having like here's what I would do. But when it gets into specific, like this is how I would write this game, that is usually not very useful. Instead of like this mechanic is like a little bit like rough and like, hey, here's somewhere where I struggled with understanding the rules. Like instead being like, well, if I wrote this game, it would be like this, and this. And having like that sort of playtest feedback from another designer who I know wouldn't value that type of feedback back, um,
Yeah.
just kind of them dunking on your game, and it's like this is not helpful. And I know I'm a good designer, so like it's so frustrating. And you just
Ah,
have to, because they're a playtester,
Yeah.
and you gotta be like,
thank you for
thank
your
you,
feedback.
thank you so much. I really
Ugh.
appreciate it.
It's like when a kid
Um,
gets you a bad drawing, you're like, I'm gonna put it
yeah,
on the fridge right
uh-huh,
here.
yeah,
There's nothing more that I hate than people who give out energy that they themselves can't handle.
Would
Like
yeah,
not match.
it sounds like if this guy came to you, it was just like, hey, could you critique my game? And you did it in the same way,
hmm
I feel like they would break down.
yeah,
Like, but you're handling it gracefully, like, oh, okay, cool. But if she were on the other foot, they would not handle it nearly as gracefully, and that
no,
pisses me off more than anything on the planet.
uh-huh,
If you go dish it out, be able to take it.
yes.
Anyway.
Um, that same designer also has some other red flags about them, so I should have known, but they showed up to like an open table I ran here. I ran, and it was like, well, I guess you're in the game. So
Whoop.
I,
Womp
I've been
womp.
I've been in that same situation. God bless you for handling it. Uh, that that has been our that guy segment, and we like to end on a positive note. So
uh-huh.
we're gonna combine two of our segments together for like one big massive beacon of light.
A group
Okay.
Uh,
hug.
Yeah, this is the group hug ending
Mhm,
of the show, which is there are players out there that I like to call comfort blanket players.
mhm,
One of the things about the space that I think is really particularly toxic is that we have the inclination to kind of form cliques and groups and
mhm,
things of that nature. And comfort blanket players are people that try to connect the groups.
mhm,
And there are people that have built up a reputation in the sense that if they're like, hey, would you like to play with this group of strangers with me?
mhm.
By virtue of them being there, you feel comfortable enough to go, yeah. So those are comfort blanket players.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and the others, so we give time to call them out. And also we have the community spotlight, which is where people that have helped you in the space, people that you feel should get more attention than they're getting, or people that you think we should reach out to have on this show. This is the time to segment or to spotlight them. So you get to do both at once.
Yeah. Um, a comfort blanket player I want to call out specifically is uh I want to call out Brian, who is in chat, of course. Brian is, if you know Brian, Brian, we joke, is the Kevin Bacon of Monster Hearts. Brian has run Monster Hearts for more people, and if you've played Monster Hearts, there's a chance either Brian was your first GM or your first GM was GM'd by Brian. Yeah, I'm calling out Brian like crazy on this episode. This is a Brian love and appreciation episode. She is
Brian, you
fantastic.
just got to take that love today.
And when you think about a gamer that connects people, Brian runs Games at Demand on Unplugged and East, and like I have made more friends and more connections like through Games on Demand. Uh, I can't speak the praises of Games on Demand enough, and a huge part of that is Brian. So I want to call out Brian as my comfort blanket prayer,
Shout out to
and
you,
then
Brian.
I want to call out someone else as being someone who's helped me a ton, and they already get a ton of attention, and I think everyone knows they're great. But uh, Jay
Sorry, Brian.
Dragon was someone who
Oh,
helped me a ton in getting this game out and giving me really great advice on launching a campaign. Jay is someone who is always trying to realizes the success that Jay has had and puts the ladder behind for more people to climb up. Is always willing to give advice to playtest. When I reached out to Jay to say, "Would you like to write um, a would you like to write a stretch goal?" I was like, "There's no way Jay will say yes. Jay is way too busy for this." And Jay's answer was, "Yes, absolutely. That sounds awesome." Uh, Jay also backed the game, and when you back a backer kit campaign person backs on backer kit, it
mhm.
sends everyone who's backed one of their things an email. And I've gotten a ton of backers from just the fact that Jay backed the game.
Wow.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, Jay is someone who, as I find more success, I am going to try my best to emulate, to put that ladder, make sure that I am not rolling up the ladder behind me and being like, ha ha ha, I got my success and it's all for me, but to make sure that I am helping shape the game space I want to make.
That's beautiful.
Uh,
I didn't know about that backer kit function. That's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I'm so excited for more games to come out on BackerKit so that I can back them and have that same, thing for
That's
more games and people will see it. Uh,
That's such a good way to spread visibility.
yeah.
yeah. It's so simple yet so brilliant.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's really awesome. And was there anyone else that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, the Bakers, Vincent and Meg, again, people who don't need that much of a shout out. They wrote Apocalypse World, like, everyone knows has touched something the Bakers have influenced. But at Big Bad Con, if you've had a chance to go, they do these morning roundups where it's just like, hey, we're going to have breakfast for designers. Grab your breakfast, come into this big circle and ask questions. And they, after the convention, started like a Discord server for designers out of that to make sure that they had a way to reach out to them to ask them more questions. And again, designers who realize that this is not a competition and that by bringing more games into the space, you're just making the space better. You're making the pie bigger. Um, is amazing. Uh,
Heck yeah.
I love it. Well, that has been everything. Is there anything anyone would like to say before we begin wrapping it up?
Who has streamed the most Warren Guard and why is it AJ?
AJ has been in both actual plays. So AJ was my art director, Abby Kelly, who was again another fantastic person. If you're looking for an art director for your project, Abby is great.
Abby's so
She
good.
she is my number one cheerleader on this project. But uh, Abby set up an influencer game basically for like helping me get the word out about I'm sorry, I just got a DM from Brian who said if I ever put her on the same list as the Bakers again, she's blocking me. Uh, I'm calling you out, Brian. You You broke my train of thought. Uh, um, uh, the
Influencer game.
Yes, influencer game. Set up this game to like help me get the word out, and that game included Christian, Fluffy Goomba, AJ, a few other people who were just great and really did help get the word out of the game. And AJ just fell in love with the game, played in that actual play, was immediately the first person to sign up for our actual play on on um
Total Party Kiss, right?
on Total Party. Yes, was the first person to sign up on Total Party Kiss. Immediately jumped in to do it with critical misses and helped vouch for me to like be able to bypass the application process um, to like get on critical misses. And I've just AJ has just been a delight as a player, and just getting to see AJ play two different riders in campaigns has been so useful for me as a designer to see the way someone could approach different characters in different campaigns. And yeah, it's AJ is great.
Yeah. AJ's a handful, but we love him.
Yeah. He missed one episode and we almost died.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, get back in
together,
America,
AJ.
AJ. We miss you. AJ's in what, Toronto with Breakout Con right
Yeah, it's
now?
a breakout con right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
with
with
Abby, a bunch of other people there. If you're watching this in the morning as you're getting ready for Breakout Con, if you find Abby and show her you are a backer of Warren Guard, you get a Dragon Rider sticker, and that's going to be true for me at PAX East. So if you're going to PAX East and you show you're a backer, you get a sticker. So yeah,
hell yeah. I want a sticker now. But that has been our
I'll set aside a sticker for you if we're ever at a con together. I'll have a sticker with your name on it.
The plan is Gen Con and PAX Unplugged because my
Okay.
new job only lets me have so much PTO.
Yeah, PAX Unplugged. I'm looking at Gen Con now. You've made me reconsider it, knowing you guys will be there. And PAX Unplugged, though, at the very least.
I
Like,
really tried to get a media badge for PAX East, y'all. I really did. They're like,
yeah,
we
PAX East. I think they're looking for more video gamey people,
yeah.
and it's a little.
They were like,
But yeah,
we've measured your swag and find
games
it
on demand.
lacking.
You would fit in really well with the games on demand folks. Like, if you need to get your badge, you've got to run like 12 hours of games, which is what, three sessions?
4-hour sessions or four
Yeah.
3-hour sessions.
Yeah. And you get your badge for the full con.
I mean,
You can also do hosting and just sit and talk to people all day, which I could tell you enjoy.
me hosting?
Nah.
Yeah.
And help concierge people to games. Yeah, games on demand is like, I can't plug games on demand enough.
I'm gonna start fucking with games in demand. Like I'm gonna start checking y'all out. I like your mission. I like the cut of your gym. I like what y'all doing.
Yeah.
All right. But I think with that, we are at time.
Yeah.
So
let's go ahead and raid the fine folks over at Total Party Kiss.
Let's go say hi to Total Party Kiss.
All right.
Natalie, why don't you tell the people one last time where folks can find you, and
Yeah,
we'll get the heck out of here.
I'm Natalie Pudim. You can find me on Twitter at Luck of the Harbor. You can go to luckoftheharbor.com to find all my links. You can go to warrenguardgame.com, which is where you can back Warren Guard. We're up for 9 more days. Don't wait to back. Knowing that we're gonna hit goals is really helpful for us. So like, don't wait till that last 48 hours to back, because you might forget and then you might miss out. So back now, please, if you're thinking about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much, Critical Misses. You guys have been such cheerleaders for this game by having me on the channel to do my actual play and having me on the show.
It's a good fucking game.
A delight. Thank you.
Without further ado, I would say that the ritual
The ritual has been
has
concluded.
concluded. The ritual
I
has
said it
concluded.
first.